Hello all, today I'm going to be doing a review on the Ertl Gold Rail Tidmouth sheds. And because what's Tidmouth sheds without some occupants, some gold rail items I've picked up recently too. All of a sudden I've had a gold rail obsession, or Ertl, Bandai Tech, whatever you want to call it. It's all kind of the same thing pretty much. But I've had kind of a peak in interest recently, so of course I had to buy some items. I was originally only going to get these engines, but I was scrolling eBay and this was new. It was open to box, but it was new. Still, all the pieces were on the sprues, and it was it was completely new for like $40. So I just could not let that go, and now it's in my house, and it's amazing. So let's get into the review. I went ahead and just opened everything up and built Tidmouth sheds because I didn't think y'all would want to watch me for like 30 minutes to take things out of packages and, put things together, because y'all just want to see the trains. I know, that's how I am, so that's probably how you are. So, I'm going to quickly touch on the models. These did not come with the Tidmouth sheds, but I figured, like I said, what's Tidmouth sheds without its occupant, without a few of its occupants. So let's go ahead and look at him real fast. So here is Percy. He's a pretty good scale. His face is all right compared to Thomas and just Thomas. He's a good scale. With Edward, he's all right, and James is small for some reason. But same problem with Ertl. People still love Ertl, so I still like these. Sadly, no side rods. The Japanese variant had side rods, but for some reason, when they came over to the States, they didn't want the side rods. Don't know why. They look a little naked without them, but you know what? They're still cool. So the seller I bought these from said that they were new in box, but they had opened it to take pictures, which on all of them looks true except Percy. He has a few, let's see if I can focus. There's a few spots on his boiler and cab that make it seem like he might have been played with a little, but there you see it in the light. But to be honest, he works. He looks cool. I'm fine with it. Next is Toby, which before we talk about the model, I wanted to hit on the package for Toby. As you notice, that's not the toy you get. I don't have any official sources on this, but like I'm 90% sure it's a prototype. And that's just kind of cool to see that we have the prototype and the actual model here. I mean, it's not too uncommon, but it's just, I find it interesting that the box is a prototype. And this is the real Toby you get. And he looks pretty cool. By himself, great Toby. I mean, it's kind of hard to mess up a box. But when you start bringing in other engines, he's very small. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I'm 90% sure that Toby is supposed to be around the same size as Thomas. He's not. And he's actually smaller than Percy. So yeah, that's not exactly good. But, I mean, again, I'm going to bring in Ertl. The Ertls are so weirdly proportioned and people still like them, so I feel like we can give these a little bit of a pass. And since I already hinted at it, let's go ahead and look at the box. All of the boxes are the same except this little, well, of course, the front, duh. But they're the same pretty much with the character flipped out, besides these, which has their name, with magnetic couplings, and this cool little promo. On the back is a bigger version of that promo, Toby the Tram Engine, a little description. You can pause and read if you want. It'll focus. There we go. And then just a demonstration of how the magnets work. I'll demonstrate that in a minute once I get to the last engine, but and there's that picture of Toby again in the front. Might as well hit on Percy's box if any y'all are interested. Percy picture. You can read that if you want. Same thing. And then go ahead and hit on Thomas's box. Nice little picture. Another nice little picture. Alright, so let's look at Thomas. He's amazing. This is an amazing Thomas. The proportions are really good. Something that a lot of toy companies don't get right, or they get it right, but the wheels actually match up with the splasher here. And that is such a little detail I didn't think would make a lot of difference, but holy crap, it does. Sadly, no back lamp, but I mean, you know, this is gold. So I can give him a pass. His face does look a little like he's under the influence, but I don't know. He looks nice. I like him. Alright, now to a tender engine. Now, compared to these, I know, yeah, there's a tender, but holy crap, these things are a lot heavier than these. Like, I feel like if I throw this at somebody, they're going to be like, ow, why'd you throw that at me? This would knock somebody out. Like, this would leave a nasty bruise. I don't know why, but his tender is so heavy. But I don't know why, but that's just weird, something I'd like. I love that he actually has the right wheels. You know, a lot of companies just make him an 060, so that's nice. The tender is amazing. I love how they did the wheels. That's really cool. Sadly, connected tender, but I can look past that because it looks nice. The face, it's good. I like it. It's Edward. It's not like how Thomas kind of looks deranged in the background there. Sorry, he just looks like he's going through it in the background. But Edward's face looks nice. His details are nice. I like him. He feels like he's not going to break in a minute. And our last engine we're going to hit on quickly is James. James is probably my favorite character. I don't really know why. He just kind of is. But Gold Rail did him a little dirty. He's way too small. Like, he's supposed to be bigger than Edward. And Edward towers over him, and he's slightly longer than him. Don't know why they did that. But at least Ertl got Edward and James the right size. While his wheels do line up with his splashers, they seem too far into his body. Like, if I bring in Thomas, his wheels are out farther, but half of like James's wheels are in his body, which is kind of weird. And then we get to the tender. Oh my god, the wheels. Why is one of his tender wheels pretty much at the connecting point of like the tender to the cab? That's interesting to say the least. I mean, they got it right on Edward, so why can't we get it right on James, you know? I mean, it can't be that hard coming from somebody who's never designed a toy or anything. I like his face. By himself, he's pretty cool. Him and Toby scale well together because they're both really small for some reason. And I don't have them, but I imagine Gordon would probably also scale decently with these two. But they do. But to be honest, they look good like this. I don't mind that at all. All right. Now, with that... Oh, wait. Actually, real quick, let me show you how the couplings work. I think this is really cool. So you'll notice these switches. These actually control the coupling. You switch it one way, and it's magnetized. You switch it the other way, and it's not, so they don't couple. While you don't get you can't really, okay, well, I mean, you kind of can connect them, but like you see how it's like kind of off-centered. You can't really connect them this way. You definitely can't, do that, but you know what? I'm fine with that. The couplings look cool. All right, let's move on to what you clicked here for, Tidmouth Sheds, or as Ertl Gold Rail calls it, Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends turntable playset. Yes, that's the only thing I wanted, the turntable. And there it is. But first, let's look at this. Because When I ordered this, I did some research online. You know, of course, you buy something and then you do the research. But I was doing some research and I could not find this manual anywhere. I looked on the wiki, I Googled it. I Googled and Googled. I couldn't find it. I don't know if I just didn't look hard enough or nobody has documented this. Because this set was out for, I want to say 2 to 3 years. So it's not exactly the most common, even though you look on eBay and there's like 50 of them for some reason. That's besides the point. But I just want to hit on this, and if anybody's interested, I can take pictures of this. If there is no other documented, pictures of it, I can take pictures and upload it to like a Google Drive if anybody's interested. But if not, and I'm just being stupid, I'm probably not going to do that. But if there's interest, I will do that. But yeah, showing that. Here's what you clicked on for. Tidmouth Sheds. Oh yeah, that's a nice shot. Yeah, I got budget or something. No, that's later. Oh, don't look down there. That's not good. So yeah, it's Tidmouth Sheds. Bye bye. No, I'm just kidding. It's beautiful. I love it. It's beautimous. It's Tidmouth Sheds. I do think it's really interesting that they have the engine names up here, especially because Gold Rail never made Henry. Side note, how do you not make one of the main characters? Okay, back to the review. So, it's nice. I don't like stickers, though. And as you can see, the 30-year-old stickers aren't really sticking. Yeah, whatever. But for the most part, they are. There's only a few that I'm having troubles with. But, I mean, it's Tidmouth Sheds. It's a nice Tidmouth Sheds. I mean, the turntable works. Let's just get this guy, this weird blue guy nobody knows about. The crank is a little hard to crank in one way. I don't know if you're only supposed to go this way, and I've just been breaking it the whole time. But it's also loud. I don't know if you can hear that. Can you hear that? I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's cool. The turntable works. There's 2 little sidings. These buffers are adorable, by the way. I mean, look at that. It's perfect. Zoom in, please. Focus. Camera, please. There we go. I mean, look at it's cool. I like it. There are 6 berths, and they're all different sizes. There is a reason why there's certain engines at certain berth places. That didn't sound right, but y'all know what I mean. Because these 2 are the smallest, and engines like James and Edward and Gordon won't fit here. These 2 are actually the longest, and then these 2 are the mediums. That's why Edward and James are in it. And I'll demonstrate quickly of just trying to put Edward in this berth. Now, that's where there's a little lip. But, I mean, I guess you could, but you might be able to barely see his tender poking out there. But if you move him here, I said if you move him here, he fits perfectly. He's got okay, he doesn't have a lot of wiggling, but he goes in there, and then you can shut the doors, and you can forget about him, or whatever you want to do. And then Thomas fits right in there. And there is not really a rail system. The rails are all stickers. There's just a groove that they fit in here. The wheels kind of fit. Also, this kind of fits the Bachman Thomas. I just tried Thomas and he looked all right, but the Bandai or the Ertl Gold Rail, they fit HO rails for some reason. I doubt that was on purpose, but if anybody was interested, I know that all of y'all were wondering that. but you see Thomas fits in there. And then one thing I have noticed is something about Toby. Now, I don't know if y'all noticed these little ramps up to the turntable. He barely gets up these. Like, there's very little wiggle room here. And then when you get here, his wheels don't even touch. His side plates are just sliding. Oh, crap. You didn't see that. Are just sliding across this little lip. But then once you get to track, he's fine. But that's something to note if you get these. And he just looks so smaller. But pretty much every other engine looks really good. You know, get Percy up in there. Open his shed doors. Open, you know, put him in there, and just slap James here because I don't feel like turning it all the way around. There we go. And then I'm just gonna put it over here. So, yeah, that is the Ertl Bandai Gold Rail Turntable Tidmouth Shed set. It's not a mouthful at all. That's actually really easy to say. Yeah, try to say it 3 times fast. Yeah, I love this set. This is amazing. If you can get it for a good deal, I'd say do it. Even if you don't have any of the Bandai Techs or Gold Rail engines, Ertl engines fit this really nicely. I'd imagine Wooden Railway, Take and Play, probably the new push along, like the Trackmaster push along, those would probably fit it pretty nicely. And like I said, some of the Bachman Thomas ones will work. I mean, obviously they're not like Gordon isn't going to work on this. He's too big, but they don't look too bad on here. So yeah, I recommend this. If you can find it and you want it, you should get it. All right, I think that pretty much covers it. I'll see you in the next one if I decide to upload. Bye-bye.